HelloFresh is a meal kit delivery service. You'll get your meals delivered in a box. So at the top of the box are the recipe cards. Each meal is packed in its own brown bag, except for the meats, which are found at the bottom. In this video, I'll be making a couple of Mexican or Tex Mex dishes. Then I'm going to compare these dishes to what you can get from one of my favorite local eateries. This meal kit for 4 people comes with 12 small tortillas to make 3 taquitos per person, some cheese, onions, some guacamole, tomatoes, lime, sour cream, some seasoning paste and powder, and 20 ounces of ground pork. According to the recipe, I'm supposed to thinly slice most and mince a little bit of the onions, but to save some time, I'm going to use my chopper to chop most of the onions into big pieces and a little bit of onion into tiny pieces. The big pieces will be sautéed for the pork filling, and the tiny pieces will be used to make the fresh pico de gallo topping. The pork filling is seasoned with 2 tablespoons of Southwest spice, and 2 ounces of Tex Mex paste. Now the recipe said to drizzle tortillas with olive oil and brush or rub to completely coat on both sides. I'm going to try to save some time by just spraying on olive oil to one side. I formed 12 taquitos in all and will bake them in the oven. While the taquitos are baking, I'm going to make the pico de gallo and the guacamole sour cream topping. I'm peeling some lime rind for both the pico de gallo and the guacamole sour cream topping. These are the onions you saw earlier that got chopped into tiny squares. I received 4 of these 1-ounce packets of sour cream, and I'll be adding all of the packets to the guacamole. The The taquitos are out of the oven, and I'm trying to plate this meal like the photo on the recipe card.
This is pretty good, but I think I'm biased because I do like Tex Mex food and I like Mexican food.
I would rate this a 7 out of 10.
I forgot to add the hot sauce. That didn't add much.
Now on to the pork and green pepper tacos. I'm going to start by making the kiwi salsa. That was a lot of cutting for such a small bowl of salsa. I have to also make some sour cream drizzle, which is basically watered down sour cream. And now I'm going to make the filling.
This is spicy. This is not like bell pepper.
The recipe said to cook the veggies first and then add the meat and cook it. I'm going to add 2 packets of this chicken stock. I've already put together 2 tacos, and I'm working on the third one, starting with just the filling in the tortilla. I'm not a fan of cilantro, but I'm doing my best to make my tacos look like the tacos in the photo on the recipe card. These tacos were okay. I would give them a 5 out of 10 rating without the salsa and a generous 6 with the salsa. Despite the Southwest spice, the chicken stock, and the tomato paste that were added, the taco filling was not very flavorful. On the other hand, I would rate the Kiwi salsa on its own an 8 out of 10 and will definitely make it again. The salsa is slightly sweet, tangy, and oh so refreshing. I'm not sure why the recipe didn't call for adding the lime rind, but I will do that when I make this salsa again and serve it not as a topping but rather as a side salad. I'll put the recipe in the description box below. Now, how do these meals compare to food you can get from a restaurant? Well, Cafe Rio is a fast casual establishment that I frequent. I regularly get their enchiladas and would rate their enchiladas, tacos, and burritos 8 out of 10. So, compared to getting food from Cafe Rio, making these HelloFresh meals are a terrible deal. First of all, they're not as tasty, they involve a lot of work, a lot of time to make, and worst of all, you don't save any money. What you saw on my plates cost $9.32 to $14.49. The range is due to the fact that if you buy a box of just 4 meals, each meal costs $14.49. If you buy a box of 12 meals, each meal costs $9.32. At Cafe Rio, 2 tacos cost $11.19 plus tax. And 2 tacos from Cafe Rio is much more food than the 3 tacos you saw on my plate. And they also give you rice and beans. It takes me half the time to go pick up hot food from Cafe Rio than it takes me to make food using HelloFresh recipes. Oh, I forgot that cooking these HelloFresh meals generates a lot of dirty dishes that I need to wash. So why would anyone buy HelloFresh? Well, getting groceries delivered to your doorstep is quite nice. It's a treat. I think ordering from HelloFresh could be worth it for the types of meals that cost more than $14.49 to get from a restaurant, or for the types of homemade or home-style meals that you can't really get from a restaurant. I'm going to try out some of those other types of meals next time. But tacos, taquitos, and burgers, these are meals that I wouldn't recommend that you buy from HelloFresh. If you want to try out HelloFresh, use the link in the description box below to get $120 off your meals. The discount will be spread over several boxes. After trying out the first box with a discount, you can just cancel if you decide that it's not for you. Just make sure to cancel at least a week before your next scheduled delivery date. Otherwise, they'll charge you for that delivery.